Have you ever seen those shows, Extreme Hoarding? And you're a very neat, tidy person, so this is something you never think you're going to encounter, except the property that you inherit happens to be one. We're going to get into it next. I'm Ellen Mitchell, your heels on the ground in the Miami-Fort Lauderdale area. And on this channel, we're going to talk about everything: probate, guardianship, senior relocation, and yes, hoarding. Hoarding. Oh my goodness, I can't tell you how many homes I've gone in where someone that was hoarding lived there. Oftentimes, especially in South Florida, you have people living here by themselves and their families are up north and they have no idea of the living conditions that their family members are in. It's very sad to think that somebody lived there through their end days and were living in a just a very sad existence. But now that sad existence has come to be put right on your lap. What do you do? There's so much that I could say about this. If you had gotten the information that your family member was hoarding during their lifetime, I could refer you to a hoarding specialist that would be able to come in and work with the family member and getting the home in a nice, manageable living, situation. But now it's too late. So now this is going to fall on your lap. We don't need a hoarding specialist in this case. We need to get the property returned to a good, just to a good or average condition in order to sell the property. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to bring out a company that specializes in hoarding. And why is that if the family member is deceased? That is because there could be biochemical hazards in the property. We don't know if the house is full with urine, feces, other kinds of bodily materials that are going to just destroy the inside of the house. So I work with a wonderful person. His name is Mike Welch with TMS Cleaning, and he'll meet me at the property and take a look at everything and let me know, are we able to just remove the damaged items and maybe salvage some of the other items, or is the home just completely destroyed? If the person has been hoarding, we also find a lot of times deferred maintenance. And what does that mean? It means maybe there's a roof leak that they never had looked after. And in South Florida, a roof leak, 9 times out of 10, means mold. So we're going to have a professional come in and they're going to remove everything from the house that's been impacted by the hoarding and or the mold. Once that's removed, if it's safe and there are personal property items that the family wants, the family will come in and take any items that they want. And after that, we can go ahead and have a nonprofit take any of the items that are available for donation. But typically in a hoarding situation, I see that everything has to go. If it's been impacted by the hoard, especially if it means like leaking roof and things like that, the home will often have to be sold to a cash buyer or an investor because you're not able to get a mortgage. A regular person buying a home with a mortgage is not going to be able to get a mortgage on a home with an active roof leak. If you have the money or the estate has the money, you would have the option of fixing the roof, getting the property restored to, just good average condition and selling it to an end user, someone that's going to live in the property, which you'll be able to get more money for that. But it's really a decision. Do you want to spend the time, energy, and effort having the property brought to average condition? And how much money is that going to cost? If we look at the house and the house is $500,000 in average condition, but because of the hoarding and the roof, the roof leak, it's worth $400,000 and it's going to cost $75,000 to bring it up to average condition. The difference between $475,000 and $500,000 in my mind wouldn't be enough because the $75,000 to bring it to average condition, they could get in working on it and find that the $75,000 is actually $85,000 or $90,000, and you would have been better to just sell it to an investor for cash and not invest funds in it. So hoarding is a big situation. It's really a shame. And I do think that it's a call out to all of us to make sure that we are communicating with our elderly relatives, visiting them and spending time, because the information that you have by talking to them on the phone a lot of times is a really different situation than what the actual situation is. I just want to tell you about one situation. It was a mother and son. The mother lived in South Florida in the home, and her son was in California. They talked all the time. They FaceTimed all of the time, and he thought that his mother was living in, in good conditions in her home that he had visited pre-COVID. But she passed, and when she passed, he came down, and the home was filled with mold. She had had a leak, and she never attended to it. She also let the insurance lapse, so it was not covered by insurance. And they had to go ahead and sell the property. He just wanted to get rid of it. The estate had no money, and so he chose to sell to an investor. He felt terrible that his mother had been living in those conditions for what looked like a long time, and he felt that he was being a very dutiful son by having those regular conversations and FaceTiming with her. What he realized is that when he would FaceTime with her, she was always sitting outside with a wall behind her to the house, so he had no idea of the inside condition of the home. It's very, very important as our parents and family members age to stay in close touch and try to visit, at least once a year if you can, because oftentimes people just won't, they're not going to tell you what they're going through. And you go in to find a situation like that, which was really heartbreaking for my client. He was a great guy and a wonderful son. He just didn't know. I'm Ellen Mitchel, your heels on the ground in the Miami-Fort Lauderdale area. Please like and subscribe below. And if you have any questions, comments, or ideas for future episodes, please let me know. I do read the comments and really value your input.